This is the story all about how my life got twisted, turned upside down, and I'd like to take a minute just to sit right here and tell you how I indeed did not become the Prince of Bel Air, but I did in fact become one of the Lord's strongest soldiers. Mhm. Welcome back, glams and gents. It has indeed been a long time. I have truly missed you guys. So let's just get right into why we are here. This life update. So I previously mentioned on my channel that I suffer from depression, major depressive disorder. I don't know if I ever talked about having endometriosis, but we're going to talk about it today. We're going to get into it today. Okay, so for this story, we're going to have to go back. We're going to have to go way back. So ever since I was little, like a little girl, I've always had stomach issues, like really, really, really bad cramps. Um, so bad that I've been in and out of the hospital numerous times, emergency rooms numerous times because of these cramps. One of these emergency room visits, the doctor thought I was psychotic, so he prescribed me some antipsychotic medicine, and he was in fact not one of us. He was in fact not one of us. My mama was livid, I was livid. So let's fast forward. Maybe my around about my junior year in high school, I started having migraines, and these migraines would last months at a time. Couldn't take sound. Like my mom literally had to take curtains and put them up on my windows so that no light could get in, and these would last for months at a time. Ended up getting in with a neurologist, and I told the neurologist that I basically couldn't live the way that I was living. I only had like 5 good days out of the month, if that. And that man looked me in my face and told me, well, like basically, I should be grateful because that's about as good as it's going to get. He was like, yeah, 5 days is good. 5 days is good. And I'm like, for who? Did you hear me? Not that I had 5 bad days a month. No. I said I had 5 good days a month. This man looked me in my eyes and told me that this is the best it was going to be. But the devil is indeed a liar, because as of now, I haven't had a migraine headache in years. So, aha, for that. So also around about this time, I noticed that my menstrual cycles were getting to be really, 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 really bad on me. Like it has always been painful and bad, but about the time I was finishing up high school, it was really, really bad. It got to the point, and this went on for years. It got to the point where like I couldn't even stand up straight. Like I was literally walking hunched over, hunched over, hunched over. So my mom was on me. She was like, Shane, I think what you have is endometriosis. And I didn't want to believe it. I thought that, I don't know, I thought something else was going on. I didn't think that it was a chronic illness. I don't know why I didn't put 2 and 2 together, but that's me and not putting 2 and 2 together. But anyway, so my mama was like, we're going to the doctor and we're gonna talk to her about this and we're gonna see. So the first OBGYN that I had, she basically told me that was normal, and that I was fine. She didn't look further into it. This was in Selma, so I mean, if you know, you know. If you know, you freaking know. But anyway, so I ended up hearing about Dr. I'm not gonna say her name. I don't think there's an issue with it, but I'm just not going to do that. I ended up finding the OBGYN that I go to see now. But before I could get in with her, I thought I had to go through. She's at a clinic, and there's a hospital. That clinic is affiliated with a hospital, so I thought I had to go through the hospital to get to the clinic. So I ended up going to the hospital or emergency room or something like that. I can't remember. This has been over 10 years ago. Yeah. I ended up going to the hospital, the urgent care, or whatever, trying to get into them so that they can put the referral in to get me to see the doctor that I have now. This nurse, and she was indeed not one of us, if you know what I mean. She said, well, African American females, they have terrible cramps. That's normal. There's nothing wrong with you. You're fine. You're great. You're good. You're good. But anyway, she set me up with the appointment anyway. And my mama was livid about that. And I was too. So my mama wasn't gonna let me quit, baby. So we still got that appointment. We go to the appointment. She did not diagnose me with endometriosis at first. At first, what she saw was a cyst the size of a golf ball. So I was supposed to go in and have surgery to remove that cyst. This was back in, I want to say maybe 2018. I think it was around 2018. Yeah. So I go back in for a follow up. It was actually a second ultrasound. It's the ultrasound they do right before the surgery. It's to, kind of confirm diagnosis and to see, again. I go in for the second ultrasound. The cyst has popped after she told me that it was too big and that when it gets to that size, it doesn't normally go away on its own. But it did. So I didn't need surgery to remove the cyst, but she did say that since the surgery was already scheduled, like for the next day, that she would go ahead with the surgery, but she would go in laparoscopically to just go in there and look around. So I did the surgery. I came out of the surgery all right. I was back to me in 3 days. But she did say that she did see the extra tissue in my uterus that's endometriosis. But she did go in there and burn it off. In her defense, she did tell me that it would grow back. I did not. It's not that I did not believe her. I believed that it wasn't going to grow back because I'm so special, just like that. It wasn't going to grow back. I was indeed incorrect. The Lord was like, I'm going to show you. And what did he do? He showed me. So I was fine. So this was back in 2018. We are in 2024 now. So around about this time last year, I'll say around February, my birthday of last year, after my birthday, I noticed that they started back getting really painful. No, this was not my birthday last year. Yeah. It's a lot going on. So let me back up before we get here. Let me back up. January 2023. It was January 2023. A tornado comes. Now I'm thinking, a little rain, a little wind, it ain't gonna do nothing. It's not gonna do nothing. So I took myself a little nap. I was at home. I was going through a depressive episode at this time. So I was home anyway. It did not just do a little wind and rain. It was a whole tornado, and 2 trees fell on my home while I was in there. I was the only one home, and I was in the house when the 2 trees fell on the house. Luckily, I escaped with no physical scars, but the mental scars, I can't even, I bust out in full-blown tears at the sound of heavy wind and rain. But we're the Lord is working. We're going to get there. PTSD. Real bad. So I ended up moving in with my aunt, and I actually put it in right here, a clip of the house. My birthday comes around in February. I've noticed slowly that I feel a little something, but I'm thinking that maybe it's my depressive episode because it's usually the end of the year and right around the first of the year that it's really bad. So I thought that I was still, coming out of that depressive episode, being drained and not really feeling myself. So I didn't think nothing of it. I thought it was just that. I was incorrect. Now I noticed around this time last year, I was getting painful periods to the point where I was in tears. Like I was crying, like like I said, I was used to having bad cramps before the endometriosis diagnosis. I was having them bad cramps again. So I was thinking that, I don't know what I was thinking. It wasn't that, I didn't think that they had grown back that quick or had grown back at all. I just didn't think it was that. I thought maybe possibly another cyst, which I was not wrong about that. And we're going to get into that too. So I end up making another appointment with my OBGYN. So I get an ultrasound March of 2023. I get the ultrasound. And I did not get the results to that ultrasound until December 2023. I got the ultrasound done March 2023. I did not get the results until December 2023. Now, in this interim, during this time, I'm just going downhill. So around about this time last year, I was pretty much bedbound. Couldn't move, couldn't do nothing. Missed out on so many events and whatnot because of it. December gets here. And now, but I'm also dealing with the major depressive episodes. And with me being in pain all day, I don't know if anybody knows how chronic illness works, but your baseline is like a 4. And I'm at probably like at a 4 right now. And y'all are probably like, she looks fine. She looks just fine. No, babe, I got my heating pad on and everything right now. I'm at a 4. I've learned to tolerate it and mask. Because people don't, if you walk around looking like you're in pain, people are going to continue to ask what's wrong. And I don't, it's a lot to explain. And so when it gets really, really bad, it gets really, really bad. So you kind of have to go ahead. You can't wait until it gets bad to take medication. You have to take it right then. You have to take it right then. Now, let's go back to this ultrasound in March real quick. I get this ultrasound done. The ultrasound tech is in there. This lady is in the middle of this ultrasound. She stops. She looks at the ultrasound and she looks at me. And she says, "What did she give you for pain?" My OBGYN. What did she give you for pain? I was like, "Nothing." She was like, "Are you scheduled to see her today?" I'm like, "No, ma'am." She said, "Do you want to see her today?" Before I could even answer good, she was like, "Yeah, you're going to see her today. I'm going to go and see if I can get her to get you in today." So immediately the ultrasound tech was, so after I get the ultrasound done, I go to talk to the OBGYN. And she just tells me, "Oh, you have 2 cysts, one on your right side and one on the left side of your ovary that's probably causing you some pain." This was not the full, when I said I didn't get the results, I didn't get the full results until December. This was part of it. She did see the cyst. Or did she? Did my sister point it out? I can't remember. Somebody pointed out that there was a cyst. I think my sister, because my sister went to the ultrasound with me, and my sister was like, "If that's the cyst," and she was looking at it, and she's like, "That's huge." I don't think she did. Matter of fact, I know she didn't. So no, because I did not get the results. Yeah, no, I didn't get the results until December. So it was my sister that pointed out. So when I went to see my doctor, I'm not gonna say her name. She was like, "You have, I told you that you had endometriosis, and there's no cure for it. The only thing we can really do is treat it." But she gave me some pain medicine and she sent me home. And I didn't get the results of that ultrasound. Or did I do another ultrasound? Y'all, when I say it was so much going on last year, when I say I was a faithful member of the Lord's Strongest Soldier list, and I was like, "Take me off the list, Lord, take me off the list." I don't think so. I didn't get the results. What happened is I started going downhill. I started having other symptoms going on. My teeth were doing a thing, and what they said at first was they thought it might have been nerve damage and that I needed a root canal. Never did get that root canal, and we're going to get into that too in a minute. This was all going on last year. This was all going on around about this time last year. So I needed the root canal. I was having these pains. Didn't get the results to the ultrasound. I had other symptoms going on, like I had the shakes. I still have the shakes. We still haven't, I'm still on my journey to get a diagnosis. I don't know if you could probably tell. Probably not from, you can't really tell. But I started like trembling, having trembles, having the shakes, being dizzy, being lightheaded. My heart started doing something. They thought something was going on with my heart. The cardiologist said he didn't see anything and that it was anxiety. You would think that I probably would have anxiety after all that I've been through, but no. Only when it comes to storms, and it wasn't storming that day. It wasn't storming that day. It wasn't a panic attack. I'm not having panic attacks because it only happens like when I'm trying to fall asleep and I'm resting. Like, that's it. But that's neither here nor there. But that is another thing that was going on. So I ended up going to my primary. And so at this time, I was bedbound and I was limping. And so he asked me what was going on with that. I was like, my side. And I did an ultrasound, but haven't gotten ultrasound results. They're supposed to call me back with the ultrasound results. Didn't call me back. So my primary was kind of trying to get to the bottom of what was going on at first. And I was starting to feel a little bit better. My energy was kind of down. Not kind of down. It was very, very down. But we got my energy back up and I started feeling a little bit better. Not where I needed to be, or no, not where I should be, but a little bit better. So December comes. It's bad. I finally get them on the phone. I can't even remember how this came into fruition. It had to be nobody but God. I finally get them on the phone and get them to schedule to give me my results of this ultrasound. The doctor calls me and she tells me, you not only have 2 cysts, one on your right side, one on your left side, you also have what we call endometrioma. What it is, they call it a chocolate cyst. What it is it's a cyst, but it's filled with, I can't remember what it's filled with. Is it filled with blood? It's some type of liquid or something. It's a cyst, but it's filled with something. And so I needed surgery. Scheduling that surgery, oh my gosh, because I didn't get in with the cardiologist until around February of this year, February of 2024. So now we're in February 2024. We just left December 2023. You stay with me because it's been a ride. It has been a ride. So before I can get the surgery, because of the doctor put me on metoprolol for my heart. And because that's when they ask you for your medications and stuff like that, I couldn't get my surgery until a cardiologist signed off on me to have the surgery, which I understood. But at this point, I had been in pain for well over a year at this point, and I was over it. It seemed like one thing after another. The cardiologist eventually signs off on the surgery, and I get the surgery. I had the 2 cysts removed, well, 3, including the endometrioma, and I had fibroids removed. Did not know I had fibroids. And if anybody knows anything, that fibroid removal surgery is one of the hardest and most painful surgery, one of them, that you can get. So I knew that it was going to be like a 4-week, it's supposed to be a 4-week recoup time with the surgery. I was going in expecting 4 weeks. I got out, found out that I had fibroids removed too. And even the doctors that were there during my surgery, they came in and I wasn't doing as good as I should have, but I was doing better than they thought I would be doing. I couldn't really get up for 2 days afterwards. So they ended up keeping me an extra day. That was not fun. And so I have the surgery. I'm expecting the 4-week recoup time. When I say I have yet to bounce back, I had that surgery done in May. It is currently July. I have yet to bounce back. So I'm home trying to recoup from surgery. Not even, and I'm not going to give too TMI, but it was a whole lot going on after that surgery. But not even 2 weeks after that surgery, y'all, when I say I had the worst abdominal pain I have ever felt in my life, And when I say I had bad cramps, no, 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 no. I be saving my tens. Like when they ask you for your pain on a scale from 1 to 10, I be saving my tens. Baby, it was a 10 this night. It was a 10. It was a 10. When I say I wanted to die, not to be dramatic, but baby, I wanted to die. If I can't even explain it, it felt like a hot knife or something was stabbing in my pelvis area. Y'all, when I say I was in so much pain and I was so scared, so I ended up going to the emergency room. That's affiliated with that's where the clinic is affiliated with where my OBGYN is, who did my surgery. Y'all, these people gave me a CT and they sent me home with ibuprofen. And again, they were not like us. They were not like us. But the CT came back normal or whatever. That's fine. I'm still recouping from the surgery. I go home, whatever. Not maybe 2 weeks after that, if that, my tooth starts back bothering me. And not just one this time. It's two of the mugs. So I already know I need a root canal on this side. I go to the dentist because now this side is hurting. And it wasn't hurting like the other side was hurting. The other side was keeping me up all night long. But this one wasn't too bad. But since it was hurting for a week, I was like, let me go ahead and go. I went, y'all. Tell me why these people looked me in my face and they told me that I don't need just one root canal, but I need two of the mugs. I need 2 root canals. 2 root canals. So I'm yet and still battling this major depressive disorder. My meds ain't medding. They are not medding. I'm recouping from this abdominal surgery, major abdominal surgery. And another thing with this surgery is, I thought she was going to do like she did last time, was go in there and burn off the extra tissue that makes my menstrual cycle so horrible and so painful. She did not do that. What she did do was, when I came back from my follow-up, my week follow-up, she was like, you definitely have endometriosis. And she told me that that if it gets worse, that she was gonna have to send me to the endometriosis clinic in Atlanta, which I think that is where we're headed, or somewhere else, because I can't live like this. I cannot live like this. I literally missed my grandma's funeral because I'm in pain, and I can't do it. I couldn't do it because I can't stand up for too long. I can't. Back, knee. I'm not back, knees. Oh, back. Just all kinds of things hurting. Just, y'all, it's bad. It's bad. And then with these 2 root canals, my teeth, y'all. So battling the major depressive order, trying to bounce back from this abdominal surgery, battling endometriosis, needing 2 root canals. Your girl's been on the Lord's Strongest Soldiers list. That's where she's been. And not to mention the tornado in the house. And we're still not back in the home. So, yeah, for those who can pray and can get a prayer through, somebody please go to the Lord on my behalf and tell him to take me off that list. And take me off that list now. But I'm going to try to start back posting content, because I can kind of do that laying around for the most part. I really need to be resting. But it's whatever the Lord tells me to do and he gives me to do. So I'm going to try to revamp the channel like I've been promising that y'all were going to do. And I'm going to try to be consistent, but that's all up to the Lord. Your girl is tired. Baby, she been fighting a long time. And when I say they've been turning me every which way but loose up there. And I'm like, please take me off the list. Take me off the list now. Now. But I love you guys. And it's still God or nothing over here. I still believe God. I still love God. Now, it ain't like that all day, every day. I have my days. But my faith is in God and not in man. And y'all just pray my continued strength in the Lord. See y'all in the next one.